Hello, my name is Angie, and I'll be talking about Erik Erikson's fifth stage in psychosocial development, which is identity versus role confusion. Completing this stage is achieved when one finds his or her own identity. Erikson stated that an adolescent must achieve their own identity by the end of this period or be unable to move on to the future. However, Marcia claims that identity is highly variable and nonspecific in its end. He states, if the termination of adolescence were to depend on the attainment of a certain psychosocial position, the formation of an identity, then for some it would never end. Nevertheless, an identity must be somewhat developed by the time an adolescent leaves for college, work, or independent life, because that will serve as a guide for future action. Along with individual exploration, identity is also influenced by many things, such as parents, peers, ethnicity, gender, and self-esteem. It is obvious that parents will influence the developing identity. We all know that authoritative parenting is the best because it allows the child to learn from mistakes and understand why their parents teach them certain things. Peers are chosen by the adolescent and are mutually reinforcing to their already developed behaviors. Ethnicity is a major component of identity, as each ethnic group has different cultures and traditions. For minority students, ethnicity was rated as equal in importance to religion and politics. Gender roles affect what place the adolescent feels he or she belongs to, especially in comparison to society's expectations. For example, women would be considered to have a nurse occupation, and men would be considered to be doctors. Self-esteem influences to what degree an adolescent will explore to develop his or her identity. Adolescents with low self-esteem are more likely to accept other people's definitions of who they are than develop their own. While Erikson's theory was clear-cut with identity achievement and role confusion, Marcia's theory is more complex. Identity achievements are people who have experienced a decision-making period and are pursuing self-chosen occupations and ideological goals. Foreclosures are when young people accept traditional roles and values to avoid not knowing who they are, usually influenced by their parents. Identity diffusions are when young people have no set of occupational or ideological direction, regardless of whether or not they may have experienced a decision-making period. Moratoriums are individuals who are currently struggling with occupational and/or ideological issues and are currently in an identity crisis. Based off these four coping methods, it is important to settle on one in order for the adolescent to continue to future roles. If identity is not known at all, occupational roles may not be adequate for the individual and may possibly be dictated by others' opinions, and romantic roles may be difficult to develop. An individual without an identity will be living in constant question and insecurity about themselves. A great thing about Marcia's coping theory is that each status could be positive, a committed identity, or negative, absent or in process. This means there is room for change and variety. Even if one does not commit to an identity in their adolescent stage, it is possible to do so later in life.